So talk to me a little bit about being on the show and what it's like now, given that John's physical presence is no longer in the space, and what it was like for you guys, to return to set, knowing that he's no longer with us in the flesh.
We got through it like a family. You got to realize that John handpicked the majority of the people that work on Snowfall, from crew to cast to security detail to PAs to caterers. He was that specific with the type of people that he wanted around him, and he was that bold and unapologetic in making choices that may be unconventional. Truly a man that spoke truth to power, and so he's still here. He's still with us. He always be with us. His vision was to implementing under the leadership of Dave Andron and Tommy Schlamme, Walter Mosley over there. I'm ecstatic for what's going on and what we're doing. And John, and
that was going to be my next question.
We're losing none of the authenticity and none of the inspiration,
'Cause that's the biggest concern. Fans are definitely given, John's passing, because we know his edge and his audacity, and will that still, make up?
Yeah, there's a circle of truth around my head, around my cast, around the crew people that he's given opportunity to. Now we're infected with that energy, with that vision, and it's up to us now, just the same way that it's up to our viewership, it's up to the audience to take notice of a legend that's gone to that's transitioned. But this is one of his testaments. This is the last chapter. And it's a good chapter. It's a great chapter. I'm going out on a limb and telling you straight up, this is the best show on television. I can't wait till you see season 3.
You guys know who this is. He's beginning to not even need introduction. The Dapper Dansum.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Ask how you're doing because.
Yeah. My big bro's still with me, and if he was here, he'd tell me to be confident and keep riding for him. Yeah. We're in New York City and we're with our people, so
yeah, absolutely. He'd be puttering around the background, making sure everybody was doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So I mean, the Saints. Y'all are growing. The empire is getting bigger and larger.
We are. This season, I will say, for starters, this is the greatest show in the world. I will say that because I watched the finale of season 3 about 2 days ago, and I was blown away. I mean, we walked out of there, me, Eamon Joseph, and Isaiah John, and we were talking about it for like 45 minutes. We had to be interrupted because we were so loud and so hot from what we just watched. This story it truly is remarkable, and you can see it really is, the beautiful legacy of John Singleton. He really is eclipsed Boys in the Hood. I would say that.
Now, you talk about the final episode of season 3 that you just saw. Now, did John get an opportunity to direct that episode? Because I know he directs the final episode, like that's his baby. Did he get an opportunity to do that or no?
He unfortunately did not, and we were petrified. But we brought in a fabulous director from South Africa called Sunu Gonera, who actually did episode 2 and 9 of season 2. And he completely knocked it out the park. The episode was written by the fabulous Dave Andron. And, we made magic, and the biggest thing we kept with us was John's words, authenticity. What would the audience love? What would the audience want to see?
His intensity, his audacity.
Exactly. We really do go to a different place. It's a spectacular twist. I can't wait for everyone to see it.
All right, I'm with my main man, Isaiah John. Y'all know I got a special place in my heart for your character. Now, last year, I was just like, how I feel about your character. I think he's like the baddest and the boldest, on that show. So,
wait till you see this season. This season is crazy.
Wilding out?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me.
A lot of bodies dropping, Leon bossing up, just a little bit of everything.
What's it been like on set for you, given the passing of the legendary John Daniel Singleton? How have you been coping? How have you been able to, still pull through in the spirit of his black excellence?
The fact that I know that he was very proud of Snowfall and very proud of us individually, and the fact that Snowfall is a family. We all have each other's back, and we're there for each other, so that definitely helps, because if we wasn't a family, it would be hard. We'd be dealing with this individually by ourselves, but we're not. we're all dealing with it together. So it's a beautiful thing.
That is a beautiful thing. What I love about your story is how you shared with us last year that, you were kind of struggling with your career a little bit, and you were working as a janitor, and then you got the call, and John Hamm selected you, for Snowfall. And it's just so amazing how the whole trajectory of your life has changed. And now John is gone, and he has given you the gift that keeps on giving. Talk a little bit about encouraging people to stay optimistic and just to keep pushing, knowing that what they want is right there, but you just got to push through.
Right. I've been acting for almost 10 years. And, the last 2, of course, were the hardest because that's where I feel like I got tested the most with my faith. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of work. You got to do the work. You got to do the groundwork. And
did y'all hear that part? The work. It takes a lot of work.
A lot of work. A lot of people think it's easy, and it's not easy. It's not even easy once you get in this position. It's not easy. It's still work. It's constant work. So don't ever feel like you can just cut yourself some slack.
Rest on your laurels, absolutely.
Yeah. You got to continue to keep working.
I had a chance to interview you last year, and you talked about John handpicking you, calling you up. That's your brother. Like Walter Mosley, I need you to be on Snowfall. Given John's sudden death, how have you been maintaining? How have you been feeling, and how are you carrying the torch and encouraging others to push through in John's spirit of Black excellence?
Well, something. I mean, it's interesting about people dying because, as you get older, more and more people die. And one thing I recognize is that it's different for different people. Like sometimes I'm really sad. And, oh my, they're so young. They missed so much. They didn't do this. This is happening. That's happening. With John, he lived an absolute life every day. It was like, he said, oh yeah, I was up in the mountains, and then I was out on the ocean, and then I was down there in Cuba, in Cuba, and then he would have these big stories,
Love telling stories, right?
And having experiences and sharing experiences, and he made these great movies, and he made careers for all these people, and he taught people around the world that our lives are the same by telling a different story. And so I feel bad that he died because every day would have been great for him from then until now. But I don't feel sad. I still feel sad for myself, but not for John, because John was so wonderful.
You're my favorite. I had an opportunity to interview one of your friends at the Tonys. I can't remember her name right now, but she was nominated for a Tony. Dominique.
Yeah.
That's her. She was like, we're both from Detroit. Now, did you guys both go to Cass?
We did.
Wait a minute.
And Cass and Michigan.
Wait a minute. So hold up. Time out for a second. So you guys know I'm really big on education, and I didn't even know that. Like, I just found out that you went to Cass.
Yes.
You guys know Diana Ross went to Cass, right?
Right. Diana Ross, Lily Tomlin. Who else went to Cass? So many people.
Yeah, but
Nico Anand. He's coming out in Katori Hall's Pete Valley. Watch out for him. He was actually in Snowfall, too, in episode 207. Smashed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you guys. We lost a legend and an icon. We lost our friend. Talk to me a little bit about what it's been like for you guys, like on set, just trying to get adjusted to the fact that John's physical presence is no longer in this space. I know I read that you guys have his director's chair still there. So talk to me a little bit about that, Angela.
Yeah, it's tough. Tough is an understatement. You know what I mean? We were all sad together. It was devastating. I think we were there to help lift each other up and get through the season. And, in the midst of the tears, there was lots of laughter and memories and just that camaraderie to help each other get through. There were some people on the set who have known John for 20 plus years, you know what I mean? So it was hard. And I think now for me, it's harder because some things come unexpectedly. At the time it's, okay, prepare myself. I know it's going to be tough, But now you randomly hear an audio clip of him and it's like, oh, it just grabs you. So
grief is a process.
Yeah,
it's a process, and you have to really allow yourself, permission. You have to give yourself permission to grieve. Like, it's okay.
That's right.
He was an unrepeatable event who made such a powerful impact in this space with his audacity and his grit, his unapologetic force. And so we're going to miss that. So your character, I would love to hear him talk about your character. Because he's like, look how beautiful and pretty she is. And she's got the baddest character. You know what I mean? So what can we expect from Aunt Louie? Like, can you give me any tidbits? Where's Rosin? Make sure she's not around. I'll air it after the 10.
Yeah, Louis is just dealing with repercussions from season 2, right? You know, so and those
She
things,
got her 110.
she
She got broke off. She was like, "Run me my money. Run me my money."
That's right. But those things have put her in a vulnerable place, you know. So we see her more emotional than we've ever seen her. But you know, that's not a place that Louis is comfortable, you know. So she's putting on her armor even more hardcore than before, and she's fighting to maintain that power that she fought so hard for last season. So she's always fighting.
But I want to talk about Snowfall and just, you know, the impact that John's death, you know, has had on the show, and how you guys plan to move forward, maintaining the integrity, his dedication, his enthusiasm, his unapologetic grit.
How do you maintain that? You maintain that just by showing up, because it's there.
Yeah.
It's there without any effort. I mean, this is something that John started 10 years ago. This was his vision 10 years ago, and he is in every pore of this experience.
What can we expect from your character in season 3? I mean, the Saints, I mean, it's big, it's getting big. It's getting big. You know, are you still going to be in conflict with your son? And, you know, how is that going to develop in season 3? Just give me a little tidbit,
Let me say
Michael.
this.
I know
Let
you
me
can't
say
give it
this.
away.
Let me say this. Am I going to be in conflict with my son? In season 3, I am in a little bit of conflict with myself.
That part.
Yeah, that is a difficult journey, but I've made a choice, and I am gonna do what I need to do to save my child. And for Sissy, when she is faced with the possibility of losing her son, meaning him dying, which is where we left it at the end of season 2, the choice was very clear for me. So I'm going to try to save my son. But what's beautiful, though, this season you get to see Alton Saint.
Ooh, that's going to be amazing.
You get to see Alton
The
Saint
fathers.
in all
We
of
meet
his
our
glory.
fathers, yeah.
Oh my goodness. It really, when they decided to expand his story, and they always intended to, but the way they have, and they have chosen the perfect artist to do so. Kevin Carroll is magnificent.
Wow.
And you'll see it. You'll see it. I promise you, you'll see that.
You know what, I always have to ask you this
Yes.
because our culture, you know, we're always in crisis. You know, and we're always trying to find the love and support, you know, and a lot of women look up to you and admire you and respect you. They talk to me about your work on The Wire. You know, they're like, oh my gosh, she just moves like a priestess. I'm like, wait till if you ever meet her, she is exactly that. You are definitely one of our high priestesses. Yes, we love you. So can you just inspire black women, black single women who are out there just feeling like they're having a toe at themselves? You know, who have lost their sons to drug culture, who have lost their sons to gun violence. Like, if you can just, you know, just give them some words of encouragement.
Find out who you are.
Yeah.
Find out, go into that place within ourselves that when everything else is stripped away, what is it that brings us joy? And even though there may not be any evidence of that in your lives, say yes to it. Say yes to it.
Say yes.
You don't need any evidence of it. Just say yes. And the simple act of saying yes and believing that yes, believing that even in the core of your being there is that light, the more you allow yourself to say yes, the universe is a magnet, and it will attach itself to that yes, and that yes will show up in your life. I believe it. I believe it.
I love
It is.
that.
It is my own experience. Whatever you see of me, it has been a journey of self-discovery and affirmation and
And clearly the power of restoration.
discovering, holding on to, affirming, and allowing myself to be unapologetic about myself and my worth. And it has been a journey. It is worth it, I promise you, and it's there.
Tanisha Laverne Grant, Black in America.